Hello YouTube, D-Deckin here, and 2 days ago I got dual level max in the first stage of the 2021 February KC Cup. Now, the reason I say 2 days ago is because 2 days ago, when I finally got dual level max, I was extremely stressed out from it. My phone was also completely dead, so I couldn't record this then. Yesterday, I was busy all day, and then I streamed on Twitch for 4 hours playing some Civ 6. Which I've been trying to do lately. Might upload that to my YouTube channel, I don't know. We'll just playing that by ear. But nevertheless, I'm recording this now, and the reason I specify that, of course, is because technically, I did get King of Games in the previous ranked duels, so I already had a guarantee in the second stage, but nevertheless, I personally do not care about second stage. Like, the only thing I care about when it comes to the KC Cup is the rewards, and I do not know off the very top of my head if I get the rewards for getting the second stage already. So I made it a point to get the dual level max then, so I can get the final gems on that last reward. And can I just say, like I said this last KC Cup, and maybe the one before that, but I'll say it again, I'll keep saying it. Why does the first stage of the KC Cup have to be so hard? Like, just why? Like, it's an event, not ranked duels. Like, the challenging part is supposed to be the second stage, not the first stage. Why do you need 5 straight wins in a row to complete the event on duel level 19, to where you can also level down on duel level 19 if you get bad matchups? And sorry, that's a bit of a rant. I apologize. So I'm not gonna try to make this. I'm not gonna try making this too long because honestly, this is basically the same deck I used in the King of Games, with the only real difference being that I finally took out the Violon de Sigma from the extra deck for Omega, with Omega plus M7, and I managed to upload a few duel replays recently, where I did manage to use M7, one as a joke, and then the other as and then the other video I did use Omega. And Omega is pretty nice because even though it requires 2 lights, it basically says I can detach whenever to be immune to your trap cards. So when it comes to cards like blah, blah, blah. When it comes to cards like Karma Cut, when it comes to cards like Floodgate, like if my opponent has a heavy back row and I don't really want to set up Bujin plays, or if my monster dies, I can then go into like a Bujin Carnation. I can just go Omega. I can go Omega to bait out his back row and just detach material instead, and then from there I can just, if all else, I can upgrade into an M7 if my opponent clears his back row on this monster, which I did one duel. Like, admittingly, I summoned M7 like 3 times in the entire first round. One as a joke, I posted that as a video. The second one I summoned it didn't do anything, it immediately died, and the third time I did it for a little extra damage, and I didn't really need to do it, I just kind of won from there, so like, I didn't even get a chance to use this effect. I just kind of like, my opponent had nothing at that point, so I just attacked for game. So, realistically, like M7, he has a very nice effect, where you can just upgrade him from any Constellar, but you don't get its actual effect. And its actual effect is you detach to re-add a card from your grave, from any grave to the player's hand, or field. So, realistically, like, you can bounce cards your opponent controls, you can get back your resources from your graveyard. It's a nice card if you naturally make it. If you just upgrade it, that 1 turn wait is a big wait, especially since this card only has 2700 attack, which the popular deck right now is Blue Eyes and Chaos Leviathan, and I'll talk about that in a sec, but just, this card technically by itself is not strong enough to deal with a lot of other deck. Like, its attack point wise is not naturally strong enough, like, to like wait out that 1 turn. It's best used if you actually summon it, and I had someone actually summon the card on me, so, which was pretty cool. But nevertheless, overall, my experience in round 1, prior to duel level 17, most of my duels were Blue Eyes, and I was actually afraid I was going to be playing nothing but Blue Eyes for the rest of the event. But thankfully, like, the moment I hit 17, I did not see as many Blue Eyes. Like, I saw a bunch of other decks. Like, I think the first duel I got in duel level 17 was what Grows in the Grave. Was a Grows in the Grave deck, which is Akiza, where she has she puts a level 2 monster in her graveyard, where if you summon a Plant Tuner, it revives itself. So you summon Angel Trumpeter, which is a vanilla Plant Tuner, which is level 4, and because they're both Earth attribute, she immediately went into Barkion and completely shut down my back row. So it's like, I can't do anything. So, and I'm only running 2 traps, so it's like, oh, that was my only count out to this. that's crap. But, and then I faced another Grow in the Grave later on, and I assumed they were going to Barkion. They didn't. They went into like Brionact, bounced my monster, and and the Phoenix Chain I used on her other monster, and then immediately just OTK me. So it's like, oh. Oh, which was surprising. I did see a couple Lunalights, which was a bit refreshing. Like, the matchup against Lunalight is actually kind of a fun one. Like, it's a bit of a toss of a coin where who can use the resources better comes out in the winner. And there was a lot of times I did forget about Crimson Fox in the graveyard, and there was a lot of times where they were just trying to burn my my Senyu or my Crane. Like, and then there were times where I was afraid to go into extra deck because I didn't know what the deck was. So I held off, and apparently I found out, oh, it's Lunalight. Had I gone Susanoo, they would have just milled out from their deck. Which, realistically, I don't actually care. Because Sinew basically says I win the battle, and Crane doubled my monster attack anyway, so it doesn't matter what my monster's attack is. My monster just gets big. But then again, there's also the big issue of Bujin where, hey, their monsters are naturally bigger, so I can't naturally get over that. Like, Quilladin can definitely get rid of Cat Dancer, but I've definitely seen more Lunalight players focus a bit more on Leo Dancer versus Cat Dancer OTK, which again is very nice. I still think Crimson Fox is Crimson Fox is too powerful for its own self. Like, Cat Dancer OTK is a 5,000 damage OTK that if you pull it off, and even if you're running Light Boost Alpha, that still games you. If you try to target the Cat Dancer to get rid of it, like Crimson Fox negates it, and you're put at 5,000, but that's still an OTK anyway. So, like Crimson Fox just does way too much. I think the problem is I didn't see that deck that often. The deck I still saw a lot of was still Blue Eyes, and again, I think I mentioned this in my Ranked Duel video. Like, the only way to really hurt Blue Eyes is to also hurt Karma Cut, and if you hurt Karma Cut, you still have to deal with Raigeki Break. So in all honesty, you also have to hurt the Ancient Stone as well. So, or even like Spirit. Like, honestly, like the fact of the matter is that they can +1 to make you -2 is still such a powerful first turn play. It still needs to be respected. And also, even then, I was still facing a lot of Blue Eyes players that were running Ultiprov too. So, like, there's not much you can really do. It's like, if you get rid of one thing, they already have contingencies. Like, Blue Eyes players already have contingencies when Karma Cut or Ancient Stone gets hit. So it's like, the deck is already stupid consistent as it is. So it's like, how do you, like, the deck actually needs to get neutered in order to actually do anything. Otherwise, Blue Eyes decks will still be around, which is relatively annoying. I faced a couple of Sarattorises, surprisingly. Like, it wasn't until the end, but I got to see some Desperado Sartorises, which was very nice. I did face against someone who hard cheated against me, though. That annoyed me. And, like, he was playing Master of Destiny, and Master of Destiny set your first three coin tosses to be heads, right? So he flipped his first coin toss with a couple of aces to be heads. Cool. He set a card, passed. He flipped the card over. That card was head judging. And it's like, oh, head judging. That's going to be heads. I'm just going to call heads. No, it was tails. It's like, no. That's not how that works. That should have been heads. So, yeah, that was cheating. My last game I just played in Stage 2, that might have been a cheating game. Because, like, every single coin top was heads. Like, he flipped 7 coins and they're all heads. It's like, that's statistically unlikely. It's like, but, nevertheless, it's one thing if it was Desperado. Like having the first 2 coin tosses on Desperado guaranteed is a 50-50 shot of getting that third coin toss for a free draw. That's fine. I was going to let that pass. But then he revived Blaster Dragon, and then Blaster Dragon got 2 heads. It's like, that's unlikely. That's extremely unlikely. But, yeah, so let's see. Desperado, Lunalights. And then there's also Galaxy. So, Galaxy also has me on edge as well, because, like, so I didn't make a video or anything on this, but the recent event that introduced Tenjo or Kaito or whatever you want to call him, they demonstrated an OTK with the deck where you just go Galactic, where you summon the Sniper Photon to add Galaxy Eyes, and then use the skill of and use the Photon skill to put Galaxy Eyes back in the deck to add Photon Stream Destruction, and then you go into Galactitron to then go into Galaxy Eyes to just banish your opponent's card, and then hit your opponent for 5k, I definitely lost a couple times against that. Like, I think out of all the Galaxy Eyes decks I played against, I think I won once. And that's because my opponent didn't really set up. Okay, no, I lied. I won twice. One because my opponent didn't set up properly, and then the other one because he disconnected. So, otherwise, no, like, the ability to Photon Stream of Destruction you on... The ability to get a free Karma Cut on the opponent's turn is... It's annoying, especially when you have 5,000 Oppressive Force. Now, granted, Blue Eyes is 6,000 Oppressive Force, but there's that. And then I guess I also faced a couple Buster Dragon decks, and in all honesty, I didn't actually... Like, ironically, I didn't actually stressed about Buster Dragon. I stressed a bit about Desperado, because Desperado is also running Ally of Justice Quadrine, which I'm guessing is for Blue Eyes. And the problem with that is that also shuts down my deck, because I have Light Attribute monsters, so there's that. But nevertheless, I also saw some Buster Dragon decks, and sadly enough, Buster Dragon didn't really bother me, because again, I'm not running Dragon, so I didn't mind it. I knew when to play around their Buster Fusion, because realistically, their main Buster Fusion monster that inflicts piercing damage that can switch all your Dragon type monsters to defense mode. The best counter to that deck is to not play against it. If you have more cards in your deck than your opponent, just stall them out and they lose. Like, and then when they do actually summon something that can do damage to you, just get rid of it. Like that sounds terrible. That absolutely sounds terrible, but that's literally the best way to play against the deck, just to not play against it. Just let them burn out the resources, and then they can't do anything. Which, again, sounds absolutely terrible, but it's what I did. It's how I won some of the duels. It's like, it's a really stupid deck. It's a really cheesy deck. It can win duels, don't get me wrong. It's kind of annoying when it comes up. Like, the ability to super poly your opponent is very powerful in its own right, but it's... If you don't have monsters, they can't super poly you, so it's... whatever. But, any case, I'm still going to be playing Boonjin for a while. I don't know how to change up the deck, honestly. If Karma Cut does get hit to, like, a demi-limited or a semi-limited, I'm not sure. I might still play it. I might just trade out Coptic Cyclone for Galaxy Cyclone, which I feel would be less effective because... having that instant speed, like, backward destruction with Coptic Cyclone is very powerful in its own right, but I do like the versatility of Galaxy Cyclone, so it's a bit up in the air. I don't know. Like, that all depends on Karma Cut, too. Like, if they hit Karma Cut... No, not Karma Cut. Raigeki Break. If they hit Karma Cut and Raigeki Break to be demi-limited, then I don't know. And I'm saying demi-limited, and I mean, like, 3 copies. I don't know the actual term for it. Like, tri-limited or whatever. Just demi. If they demi-limited, then whatever. But overall, that's kind of my deck. That's kind of my experience. Again, that first stage is really stressful. I really do not know why they have to make the first stage so difficult. It doesn't have to be difficult. Just make it 3 straight wins in a row and 5 losses to level down. Like, it's not ranked duels. Ranked duels is it's supposed to be the second round. It's an event. Let me complete the first stage of the event. Like, that makes no sense. Like I get it. Like, KC Cup is supposed to be the top players in the world are meant to play against each other. Sure, fine. Again, that's second stage. All I care about is completing the first stage. Just let me complete the first stage. It makes no sense. But, any case, how are you doing in the KC Cup? Have you made it to stage 2 yet? Or are you having troubles with Blue Eyes? Because Blue Eyes. Let me know in the comments, and hope you have a good night.